dipimpin oleh pimpinan sidang. Baik, Bapak Ibu, sidang kita mulai. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Dekan Fakultas Bahasa dan Seni Universitas MEDAN, Profesor Doktor Linguistik MSN yang kami hormati, promotor disertasi Profesor Doktor Subasi MPD yang kami hormati, promotor disertasi Doktor Ana Suryanti Tambunan SS MHUM yang kami hormati, Dewan Penguji Disertasi Doktor Masitowani Siregar MPD yang kami hormati, Doktor Ani Holila Pulungan MHUM yang kami hormati, Winda Setiasari SS MHUM PhD yang kami hormati, penguji eksternal Ahmad Munir SPD MPD PhD dari Universitas Negeri Surabaya yang kami hormati.
Thank you.
Selamat pagi, Prof. Munir.
Terima kasih.
Guru besar yang kami hormati, Promoventus LIS SUPRIATMAN dan keluarga beserta hadirin yang kami hormati. Saat ini kita akan memulai pelaksanaan ujian bagi Promoventus LIS SUPRIATMAN pada Sidang Promosi Doktor Linguistik Terapan Bahasa Inggris. Sebelum pertanyaan-pertanyaan diajukan oleh penguji, saya persilakan kepada Promoventus untuk menjelaskan hasil penelitian maksimal 15 menit. Kepada Promoventus perlu kami sampaikan bahwa hari ini kita melakukan sidang promosi doktornya Promoventus yang dihadiri oleh banyak kalangan. Saya bilang banyak kalangan, ada keluarga, ada yang lain-lain. Mohon disampaikan paparan yang bisa kita mengerti semua, tidak hanya dimengerti oleh kalangan Promoventus dan penguji. Kami silakan Promoventus.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Bapak Profesor Doktor Insinyur Baharudin FMD as Director of Universitas MEDAN. Honorable Bapak Profesor Doktor Zulkifli Aminan as the Dean of Fakultas Bahasa dan Seni Universitas MEDAN. Honorable Dr. Fahri Haswani SPMU as the Head of the Science Program. Honorable Ibu Profesor Dr. Sumarti MPD as the promoter. And then Honorable Ibu Dr. Ana Suryanti Tambunan SSMU, that is my co-promoter. Honorable Bapak Ahmad Munir SPD MPD PhD from Universitas Negeri Surabaya as external examiner. Honorable Ibu Dr. Masitowani Siregar MPD, Ibu Dr. Ani Holila Pulungan SSMU, and then Ibu Winda Setiasari SSMU SD as the examiners. Honorable Bapak Ibu from Asal University, the head of institution, Bapak Dr. Haji Mapiri MPD, and also the members, and also the rector of Asal University, Bapak Asosiasi Profesor Dr. Bangaraja MHU, and all the rectors, Bapak Ansarudin, Pak Dokter, and Pak Said Apid, and my family, and all ladies and gentlemen, I can mention all.
Kau jangan jauh-jauh.
First of all, let's thank God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. It is done now.
Makanya di sini ada laptop mau
for ujian promosi doktor. So, on this occasion, let me present my dissertation entitled Interactive Dynamic Addressing Model in Problem-Based Learning to Improve Students' Writing. We start from the phenomenon again. There are two expectations here. the vision of Asahan University become a university which excels in the field of education, eco-social environment in producing innovative and personality graduates. The students are expected to be excellent in their field, especially in English. Right. For the students and also as the teacher candidates, the ability to master and implement material delivered by the lecturer not only stops for themselves, but also can be conveyed to others, that is, to the students only. But at times so, the students were not interested in our analysis about writing comments. They were not able to write an exam, and most of them get low scores in writing. We go to the theory gap. All the phases of problem solving are necessary in influencing students' learning outcomes. The process of PBL most significantly impacts students' learning. The implementation of PBL hasn't consistently led to improve effectiveness and efficiency. When applied without appropriate contextual adaptation, PBL tends to be reduced to procedural change rather than functioning as a meaningful learning approach. Secondly, the expected theoretical benefits are not fully realized, and students encounter various obstacles. We go to the research gap. The studies have proved that students were observed to actively share ideas and work collaboratively in composing their writing. Small group discussion for problem-solving tasks is recommended to develop structured skills. But the actual limitations related to the interpretations tasks. Learners struggle to engage meaningfully in PBL activities due to limited linguistic proficiency, insufficient prior knowledge, and difficulties in generating and organizing ideas or writing tasks. The second is the effectiveness of PBL implementation depends heavily on teachers' ability to design authentic, textually, and culturally meaningful problems. Third, some students are hesitant to discuss their thoughts about the problem, and it is difficult for teachers to arrange an automated problem for the learning process. The last is, it is too short to trigger any kind of significant measurable improvement in writing. It takes a long time for English learners to develop writing skills. Now we go to the formulation of the problem. There are four. This is how is the design of IDL and PBL to improve the narrative text writing skill of the first semester students of the English education program of Bahasa Inggris. Number two is how is the value level of IDL and PBL for improving the narrative writing skills of the students of the English education program of Bahasa Inggris. The third is how is the practicality level of IDL and PBL in improving the narrative writing skills of the students of the English education study program of Bahasa. The last for the foundation is how is the effectiveness level of IDL and PBL in improving the narrative writing skills of the students of the English education study program of Bahasa. We go to the objectives of the research. The first is to create a design for IDL and PBL to improve the narrative writing skills of the first semester students of the English education program of University. Number two, to meticulously establish the validity of the IDL and PBL and ensure the substantial improvement in the narrative writing skills of the first semester students of the English education program of University. Number three, to evaluate the practicality level of IDL and PBL in improving the narrative writing skills of the semester students of the English education program of University. And the last is to investigate the effectiveness level of IDL and PBL in improving the narrative skill of the semester students of the English education program of University. Okay, for solving the time, we go to dive into chapter 4. Yeah, because I'm only given 15 minutes, that's why I shorten it. Well, but I want to clarify related to my dissertation. In my dissertation, I divided problem listening because of some problems. You know, in recent times, problem has been implemented in the writing. There are many good impacts, but in some cases, there are also the weaknesses of problem listening. Consequently, in my dissertation, it is my opportunity to divide problem listening by integrating, interacting, dynamic listening. So I integrated the concept of interactive, dynamic listening in problem listening. So consequently, there are modification of the problem listening case. And later on, I will clarify there will be new model because of the integration from what I said previously.
Iya.
That's why in chapter 4, I'll directly explain the result.
Naguri.
Yes, okay. We come to the result. Well, so what I said previously that in my dissertation, I try to divide learning model. I try to divide problem listening due to some weaknesses of problem listening. So this is the result. The syntax of problem listening change and become it. I'm very confident, Bapak Ibu. I'm very confident to create this learning model become my nickname. In Asal University, many students call me Lisman. I don't know why it becomes, whether I know whether it is something related or not, but yeah, this is the result of my research. Lisman. Yeah. How confident I am, but I'll try to make sure that it will be something. So we start from the literacy interest. Why? Later I will clarify one by one. Why become literacy interest? Why become integrated? Why and so on. This is the abbreviation of the new model. Okay, wow, this is the clarification. Why the pace of PBL become this one. In PBL, the first phase is students' orientation to the problem. In that phase, the activities, the lecturer or the teacher will give motivation. But we don't know the exact activity to motivate students. But in this phase, there is the exact activity by connecting the local culture based on the concept, based on the theory. If we connect the local culture material, the students will motivate because they will feel familiar with that. They will feel that it is connected with their culture and their background. That's why they can be motivated. So it is very explicitly stated. Yeah, in interest. The objective of this phase is increase students' engagement and ownership of learning by connecting learning activities to their local culture. How it comes? Well, I said previously, I integrate the concept of interactive dynamic literacy model. In this concept, there are some skills like attentional control. Attentional control is one of the skills of IDLM. So I integrate this skill. And you know that in IDLM there are some relation. There is hierarchical relation. In hierarchical relation, lower level skills are necessary for higher level skills. Like attentional control. Attentional control in bahasa Indonesia, pemusatan perhatian. attention control in bahasa Indonesia, it is pemusatan perhatian. It means that the reading comprehension is influenced by attention control. That's why in this case, the local content material, the local content material becomes the stimulus, the stimulant. Attention control is a skill where the students are given stimuli. So in this case, the lecturer giving local content material to stimulate the students, and thereby they will be motivated. Until the vocabulary development also developed, and also lexical literacy also developed, and we go to the right side, there is interactive relationship between lexical literacy and motivation. And finally, motivation also includes three comprehension. That's why there is literacy interest. The second phase is in problem listening. It is organizing students. Okay, but in this model, it becomes integrated in enterprising. It is also includes some skills in ILM where there is interactive relation between reading and writing.
Tapi jangan sudah mulai dari klarifikasi ke di depan itu.
Now, this is something that very unique in this model. In PDF, it's not explicitly stated in terms of self-assessment. When we see the place of PDF, there is no explicit activities like self-assessment. That's why I add this space in this model. And the fourth is monitoring and calculated. It is the lecture monitors students' class and provides feedback to improve content administration. And then there are also guidance. The lecturer provides guidance, support, and direction tailored to students' needs. It is assurance for development and presentation. So before the students present their task, so their writing must make sure relating to the grammar, the mechanics. Okay? And then after it has been fixed, they will present their task. And the last phase is informationalizing the So when they have finished step by step, the lecturer will assist the students to analyze what they have written, and after that they will do evaluation. So there are 6 phases of this new learning. Now in learning model, we talk about the social system. It is related to how the lecturer, how the teacher treat the students. Yeah, there is like interaction, the students and student interaction, lecturer-student interaction, lecturer-student interaction, and there is also student-student interaction and student-lecturer interaction. This is a called like social system. It is related to the interaction during the learning process. Now we go to this part, reaction principles. Okay. It is related to how the lecturer treats the students. The lecturer here as facilitator, evaluator, motivator, information provider, motivator, and consultant.
Thank you.
Now we go to the support system. There are 4: the model group, lecturer instructional material, students instructional material, and the narrative coordinator. And we go to the part E, instructional impacts. Yeah, of course, instructional impact are the student improvement in writing text. And there are accompanying impact like the student interest and motivation increase. They should get the knowledge from the story and they can understand, respect, and appreciate one's culture as well as the culture of others. This is the data of LTB done by validators. And also, it is the appearance of the product here. There's a model book and also the instructional material. This is the data of the result relevant to, and continue with the data of effectiveness result relevant to. We go to the conclusion of the research. Lisman model has the following main characteristics. First, integration of the cultural material as agency. Using sequences which facilitates the students with the explicitly and systematically integrated writing. And the last one is there is self-assessment as certification, a process by which the student can assess their own draft and revise it by sharing their work. Number two, the validity of the model is stated to be very valid with the current validity 4.6 or 92%, and the construct validity 4.5 or 90%. The instructional material obtained an average score of 3.6 or 90%. Number three, the practicality of the model is proven to be very effective with the average result student activity observation with 3.4, and B, learning activities using ILM to develop age. 86% is very good. And the last effectiveness, the effectiveness of the model shows that effective with an pitch of 3.4 with a percentage of 84%. And similarly, the result of the students writing task pitch and a pitch value of 84.44, and with this percentage is 84%. Implications. There are four implications. The first is pedagogical implication, students' motivation, enthusiasm, and sense of cultural identity are enhanced due to the incorporation of identity folklore. The comprehension and writing are systematically linked, which strengthens both abilities. Self-assessment rubrics might foster learner self-reliance and self-comfort. And then the second implication, curriculum and instructional design implications. This model works well with the step-by-step, dark channel, and culturally relevant and other writing programs and properly structured processes. The third is lecture professional development implications. The lecturers want to successfully teach with integrated writing activities using local cultural content. They first need special training focusing on two main areas, primary spelling with first education, and culturally inclusive. And the last implication is policy implications. The model can be scaled up or adapt for different regions, subjects, and types of lessons, especially in places where contextualized learning. Learning time students will like cultural and linguistic context. It's essential for engagement and understanding. We go to the last session is the novelty of this dissertation. The first is the model embeds local cultural materials as learning stimuli, making learning more contextual, meaningful, and engaging for students. An aspect rarely emphasized in prior ideal writing studies. The second novelty is this study integrates reading and writing systematically and explicitly within the PBL framework, addressing the gap where practice models treat these skills separately. The last novelty is this study positions self-assessment not merely as an evaluative tool, but as a structured, rubric-guided revision process in which students critically assess and improve their own drafts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all my presentation. I give back to the moderator. I end by saying Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.